inkosikazi malibongwe. Ibali lam ke namhlanje endizawuthi ndilithethe nani lithi my story your lesson. Ndifuna ze nifunde kulo naba uhleli endlini uhleli nabantwana bakho uthi oh ndikhe ndadibana noVera namhlanje wandixelela izinto inzingo zobomi but uthe waphumelela ngenxa yothemba uThixo. My name is Vera Manona, a perfect masterpiece of grace and redemption who used to be a professional sex worker and a drug addict, but by the grace of God, I overcame those demons of drugs and prostitution. My story is no different from most girls here in South Africa that are experiencing common struggles such as peer pressure, socio-economic issues such as poverty, drugs, alcohol abuse, crime and unemployment. I also experienced partner abuse at the hands of the father of my teenage daughter, as I was with him in a relationship for 13 solid years, thinking that he will change, but he didn't. Sahlala sinyamezela kodwa isimo siyasibona. He then refused to support our daughter because I said to him, I'm no longer going to marry him anymore. It was after this incident that friends of mine were staying in Johannesburg. I knew them as if they were people who are working, but without my knowledge that they are doing something else behind their beautiful faces. They were into a business called escorting business. They painted a glossy picture of this business when they were introducing me to it. They said to me it was so much better than the street prostitution. You just take your pictures, nude body pictures, uze, unzowayiza, bakufake online, unjalo, onke amadoda akhoyo emhlabeni akuvuyiwe ku-internet. It took me a period of 3 months to make a decision of being a sex worker because I was very scared and skeptical. My first thought was my family, but the pressure of being a single parent without any kind of income to support my family was too much for me to bear. At the time, I had just graduated from the University of Port Elizabeth with a degree in political science. I chose to study politics because I wanted to serve my country and to also change my family's situation. Because I came from a very poor background. We were staying in a shack, there was no proper sanitation, no electricity, no running water, and we were using a bucket system to relieve ourselves as my mother was working as a domestic worker. Unfortunately for me, without achieving any visions, not even my goals and ambition, I eventually turned towards the whispers of open arms of sex industry. I began a new life with a fake name, Flame, and I started to advertise my naked body pictures online with no face, describing myself as a Brazilian colored. I became one of the most sought after high-class escorts, fielding calls from men with endless supplies of cash. Having grown up in a racial segregated country like South Africa, you can imagine, ngoku ndihamba ndilala nawo onke amadoda zonke intlanga. It was somewhat challenging to offer services to those kind of people because I used my body to be defiled by different men from all over the world for money. Those clients came into different shapes and sizes with different racial groups, such as Asians, Indians, whites and blacks. They had different tastes and preferences. Some wanted very strange and odd services. It was even more strange to find women who would book a sex worker. And as a sex worker, you'll have to offer her that kind of a session. Uzokucenga athi ndicela uzolala nomuntu wam because apha endlini umyeni akasandiboni. Andikwazi uphuma kulo mtshato because ndenzela abantwana. Funeka akucenge ndiqonda uba ayibo mama yintoni ingxaki yakho othi hayi mntanam ndibambe isidima sam apha ekuhlaleni. Athi ndiza kubhatala any amount of oyifunayo. Eyona iba buhlungu into yoba uzozi-offerishe services naye umama ukhona apha ubukele lo tata wenza le nto phambi kwakhe. Zizinto ke zamanyundululu esidlula kuzo singomama, izinto esizinyamezelayo, kodwa ngenye imini uThixo uzasinceda sawuphumelela sisonqoba. As I reflect on my experiences as a sex worker, I came to a realization that sex industry is not as glamorous as it is projected by those who lure people into it. Clients treat sex workers like objects and consequently ill-treat them so badly. As a result of this, most prostituted women, they always say, I would love to leave prostitution if we are even given options. They always express their desire for skills development programs, formal jobs, assistant in startup businesses. I'm so happy that Sandra has organized this event so that we can be able to help those women in the streets to be better people as well in their lives. Most of them, they don't have any resources. Some of them are the dropouts from school because of situations abazifumana bezikuzo ngamaxesha onke. When my friends introduced me to the prostitution business, they never told me anything about drugs and that most paying clients are those who are using drugs. I eventually met those clients and they taught me very well on how to take drugs, and I started to use them because I was so desperate to make a quick buck so that I can leave that kind of a job as soon as possible. Because my intention was to start a lucrative business. I went there with some ambitions, but my dreams were so crushed. Nothing happened at all. I took drugs because I could see that most of the time they were killing my guilty conscience of lying to my mother that I'm in Johannesburg, working as a makeup artist, I've got a better job and so forth. And they were making my job to be more flexible because if I had to sniff a line of cocaine, I'll be able to deal with a client within a few minutes and then I'll be done immediately. But unfortunately for me, I was so addicted to drugs. I could not, even a day, it will never pass without me sniffing cocaine. Because if I'll try not to take it, my body will be itching as if there's an animal crawling underneath my skin. My body will start shaking because of the cravings and I will feel as if this parasite is really eating me. I spend thousands of rands. Each and every day I was spending with 3,000 on cocaine, heroin, crystal meth, insangu, whiskey ezibizayo, because ndandizincamile. I gave up on myself. I never thought that God had a plan for me. I could see so many girls losing all that they have because of drugs. Some were raped, some were killed, some were strangled. You know, it was really, really bad. But by the grace of God, I survived because I knew that God wanted to use me for women who have lost hope in their lives, who are so vulnerable. The drugs become something that you have to have, even if you don't want to, but because of the situation uyiphilayo, ngoba kaloku kufuneka ulele nalamadoda aliwaka ngosuku ukuze kube nesibindi for uwenza lo msebenzi. Ngelo xesha, in our older generation, the youth was participating in recreational activities. They used to go to libraries after school to find ways to learn about better opportunities in life. But now people, they do tend into gangsterism. Drugs, prostitution, and the peer pressure is the most challenging thing that is happening in our country. And most of the young people are looking for a sense of belonging. I've made wrong choices in life, but today I'm here with you guys and I'm saying, no matter how much you have fallen, zama uzipolishe uvuke uziphumputhe. Nam ndandiphayana kobo bomi but uThixo wabutshintsha ubomi bam. Namhlanje I am a businesswoman. I'm doing mining I'm into mining onto stone crusher, isanti, fine grits, ndiyenza izitena. I-organization yami yabanqobi incedana nabantu abazincamileyo abathi mna yo Vera mna sana ndidikwe into yonke. Ndifuna uba ne-skill ebomini, ndifuna ukwenza something engcono ngobomi bam. So I'm that kind of a woman. Xa uzawufika kum usithi Vera ndixakiwe, andiyazi uba mandithini. I'm here to offer you a skill so ba makwazi ukuthi zenzeke izinto zakho. Because most of the time when people are involved with social ills befuna utshintsha, okokuqala bakwazi kwemkeleka ekuhlaleni umuntu ujonga ngesa stigma salanto abeyenza. So mna into endifuna yinto yoba bonke abantu babamkeleke okwenzeni ukuthi i-economy yethu mayikhule. Ndiyabulela ngalo mazwi, benemini emnandi. Enkosi.
Betunan, Ndasekai, I'm so proud of you, Vera. I love you, Vera. And I see you. And any other woman sitting here today who's going through the most. I love you. I see you. Because as women, we need to see each other. It's about time, ladies. It is about time. There's no reason for a teenager ehlala opposite in your street to resort. Uwesumntu abene degree, and then they resort to do. When we know there are sessions like these, there's uvera uthi une organization ethi abanqobi. You know someone who's going a similar route as uvera. It's your chance ke ngoku into yokubana ukrweqe uvera. It's your chance ukrweqe uNoksi. It's your chance, the platforms ezenzelwe lento ezi. I-chance yakho ukrweqe uThofi uthi, you know, estratweni sam, there are girls who are going through a similar story as fana nesikavera. They don't need to go through that. Sikhona Tina. I'm so proud of you, Vera, and I love you and I see you, my sister. It's easy to judge when you are in a place of privilege. I get emotional because it's easy for us to judge when we are in a position of privilege. Uthi, no, I suka, no. If awukafiki kwimeko yokuba uyibukele ezi certificate zakho zihlale apha zonke izinto uzenzileyo ungathathwa naphina ungabi nayo ne-connection, uzibuze nawe into yokuba, why am I still living? Why am I still going to school? Why am I still listening to my parents in your 20s? Ubone into yokubana, okay, if I can do this ndiforte okanye sorry, excuse me, I'm emotional. If awukafiki klo meko, or you were fortunate enough wena ungabi klo ndawo, please don't judge. Don't even judge that woman othi ndibambe isidima sam ekuhlaleni. You don't know her. You don't know her story. Before you judge, take a day in her shoes, and then you can judge. Just take a day in any woman's shoes. Ubone imeko yakhe, and then you can judge. Okay.